She is advertising 5D scans.
And are you sure it was Yolande Maritz?
Yeah, it's Yolande.
It's been 4 years since we first broke the story about Pretoria midwife Yolande Maritz and her dangerous, sometimes fatal practices. It was a year-long investigation uncovering shocking incidents of babies who died or been severely injured under Maritz's care at her private birthing home called 𝗀𝗄𝗎.
I really wanted a birth in the water, a calm setting, just a natural process with no intervention.
Corinne Muller birthed at 𝗀𝗎𝗎 in 2019.
Everything was exactly how I dreamed of it that morning. When we got to Yolande, I was already 5 centimeters, so halfway there. Everything changed. She told me to get into the bath, and then she gave me a bottle of water to drink.
Corinne first contacted us in early 2020. She claimed her midwife, Yolande Maritz, had drugged her and many other patients without their consent.
The protocol was Yolande would give them something called a rescue remedy, but in fact it's actually 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝘀.
That's the voice of Yolande Maritz's daughter, 𝗃𝗃, who worked at 𝗀𝗎𝗎. She's seen here handing Corinne a bottle of water that 𝗃𝗃 confirmed was diluted with a drug called 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝘀. 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝘀 is a drug used to induce births, but the United States Food and Drug Administration warns it can cause birth defects, premature birth, uterine rupture, miscarriage, and incomplete miscarriage. Because of its potency and risk to the fetus, doctors told us they only use 1/4 of a tablet to bring on labor. According to 𝗃𝗃, her mother would dissolve no less than a whole tablet in water or an energy drink to give to her patients.
How many patients were given 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝘀?
Well, if you birthed at 𝗀𝗎𝗎, you had 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝘀.
𝗧𝗵𝗶𝘀 overstimulates the uterus, so there isn't enough space between contractions for the baby to get enough oxygen, and it goes into distress. The assistant in this video confirmed that Corinne's baby's heartbeat had dropped to 90 beats per minute, leaving no doubt she was in distress. But instead of following protocol, informing the family, and immediately sending Corinne for an emergency C-section, Maritz said nothing and continued with the home birth.
After I drank a bottle of water, I couldn't cope with the contractions anymore. There was no break. It was contraction upon contraction.
Corinne's daughter would later be diagnosed with cerebral palsy, a birth injury caused by a lack of oxygen during labor. But she was just one of many infants we were able to trace who'd been similarly diagnosed after being delivered by Maritz. But back in 2020, when we confronted her about her use of 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝘀, Maritz denied everything.
You're denying this use of 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝘀, and yet virtually every patient was given a prescription for 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝘀.
Show me the prescription.
You told us you never prescribed it.
Okay, but this was for bleeding. This is not for induction of labor.
I'm just going on what you told us. Yolande, you said you never prescribe it.
Okay.
As it intensified, our investigation grew more disturbing, revealing more and more deceased babies.
Yolande tried to resuscitate our daughter.
She said, I can't feel your baby's heartbeat.
Sorry to tell you this, but your daughter's organs are failing.
He was alive for 5 hours and then he passed away. She blame shifted from the moment he was born and she saw he was sick. She told my husband the moment he was born, yeah, you see, it's because you're smoking, that's why your baby is dead. Then later she told 𝗶𝗵𝗶𝘀, we are brother and sister.
At Pretoria's 𝗶𝗵𝗶𝘀 Hospital, 𝗃𝗍𝗵𝗀 was diagnosed with thrombosis, or blood clots in his brain. It's a condition that can be managed if diagnosed early, but Maritz failed to pick it up on a scan, and Noah died 9 days after he was born.
Do you relive those moments?
Every day.
Yeah.
When confronted, and despite all the evidence, Maritz took no responsibility.
Do you think that you are at all responsible for what has happened to any of these babies?
No.
The deaths?
No.
The brain injuries?
No, not at all. They want to project their guilt on someone else.
Alicia, Karin, and numerous other alleged victims reported Maritz to the South African Nursing Council, or SANK, whose investigation took a further 2 years. In the meantime, these moms took their fight online, actively tracking Maritz's every move and warning other mothers against using her as a midwife.
Yolande Maritz was a cowboy and a very evil person who thought that she could play God and take life into her own hands.
I haven't stopped fighting since the day I found out. I keep fighting for every baby that we can save, but also for every baby that has been hurt.
But these moms didn't give up. And nearly a year after our story aired, the South African Nursing Council held a trial on 5 cases against Yolande Maritz.
The Nursing Council found Maritz guilty of malpractice in both Alicia and Karin's cases. She was found guilty on a further 2 charges and pleaded guilty to a 5th for prescribing 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝘀.
Maritz was permanently removed from the nursing registry, basically banned from practicing as a midwife in South Africa. So we thought the story is done. But sadly, we were mistaken.
Karin and Alicia's social media platforms had become hotlines for information relating to Maritz. It's how Karin received this lead. Maritz was looking for new birthing equipment.
They said, yeah, so they still have the unit and they want to upgrade now, so they need a monitor and they need a CTG.
In another major tip-off, it emerged Yolande may have opened a mobile sonography business called 𝗶𝗶𝘶 with her new husband 𝗶𝗶𝗂𝗆. Our investigation into 𝗶𝗂𝗆 showed he claimed to be a paramedic and at one point owned a crime scene cleanup business. According to this online advert, they were now working as a team, with Yolande operating as Yolande 𝗶𝗂𝗆.
I thought, oh, it can't actually be possible. They told her walking out of SANK she's not allowed to do anything regarding midwifery or nursing or anything. Diving deeper, we found out it is her.
For months, we have been speaking off the record to 𝗶𝗶𝗶𝘀 clients, trying to gather evidence. Finally, a few weeks ago, we achieved a breakthrough when 𝗃𝗍𝗵𝗶𝘀 and her husband Jason, who'd recently had a scan with Yolande, agreed to go on camera.
I had a friend that said she knows Yolande. She did a scan with her.
And this is a service that she said she provides?
Yes.
And how does it work? What was the process?
It's a business called 𝗶𝗶𝗶𝘀 that's just doing scans, and that's what exactly we were looking for. Scans, and she does it at your home, so.
What role does 𝗶𝗶𝗂𝗶𝗴 play?
Well, he's the one that gave us a contract to sign for the 𝗶𝗶𝗴𝗶𝗴𝗶 Act that say we are not allowed to take pictures or videos or anything. And then he takes a video of the baby's heartbeat, and that's all.
So he made you sign a form to say that you won't take any pictures or videos of you getting the scan done?
Yeah.
Vandag die 6de Januarie 2024.
After our interview, Estelle and Jason agreed to do an undercover recording of their next scan. And there she was, Yolande 𝗶𝗶𝘆, pretending to be a midwife, providing diagnostic sonographs even though she is not registered with the Health Practitioners Council.
Nou hoe weet ons asof die baba soos normaal is?
Daar is ons die rugmerg, né? Altyd tot op die punt. So wanneer daar 𝗶𝗵𝗶𝘀𝗶𝘆 is, dan is daar 'n gat in die rug. Ja, babatjies.
Maar my baba was normaal.
Ja.
Suspecting Yolande was doing more than just sonographs, we got Estelle to ask for a midwife reference.
Ons doen ook thuis. Ons kan jou baba by huis bring.
Doen dan nie nog thuis. Wat nie?
Thuisgeboorte is by die huiskraam.
Ek wonder of ons moet dokter moet.
Ons vra 15. En dan kom bad ons jou baba by die huis, ons kom af met voorspel.
Yolande casually offers to catch Estelle's baby, despite the fact that her license has been revoked. She later sent Estelle this 2024 birthing contract from her practice, Judah Birthing Services. After more than a year of gathering evidence, we were able to set up a sting.
So let's start off by micing you.
This family from Pretoria agreed to let us use their appointment with Yolande to confront her. We set up an undercover camera to film Yolande's arrival while waiting in the next room.
Yolande is a few minutes out. I'm going to wait in this room, and once she starts the scan, they're going to signal us and we'll come out.
Within minutes, Paul and Yolande arrive and start setting up.
Let's go. Yolande, I'm 𝗃𝗃𝗃 from Carte Blanche. What are you doing? Yolande, what are you doing? Your license has been revoked. This must be 𝗶𝗆𝗆𝗆, your husband. There he goes, pushing us out the way. What are you doing? Your license has been revoked.
I'm not doing
You're not supposed to be doing this. You're not. I want to understand why you think you're above the law. Do you know how many babies have died under your care? And you continue to do this. This is the disgraced midwife whose license has been revoked by the regulators, but they are prancing around the country, and this is what you're doing. You are both fraudsters. Criminals. So there we have it. We caught them red-handed, and they have nothing to say afterwards. They ran away like cowards.
We took the information we'd gathered to the Nursing Council, who confirmed that practicing without a license is a statutory criminal offence. SANK confirmed it was working with the relevant law enforcement agencies and committed to sharing our evidence. But at the time of going to broadcast, Maritz was still freely doing as she pleased.